the U.S. money supply to expand from 20 trillion-ish today to about 500 trillion in the next 10 years. I expect global M2 to expand roughly 12x from around 100 trillion to about 1,250 trillion, 1.25 quadrillion. And the difference there is that a lot of the weaker international currencies will have collapsed into the dollar. So the dollar will actually have grown in purchasing power overall. And I think by this time, so going into 2031, let's say, it will have continued its growth trajectory. It will have played out another one of these price cycles. Possibly its price cycle will have broken and it just gone into a long, slow grind upwards as people realize it's a game of accumulation. And I think Bitcoin by this time will have reached about 20% of global purchasing power. So this would imply Bitcoin's market cap in 2031 dollars to be about $250 trillion. So that's about 1/5 of global M2 stored in Bitcoin. Now, accounting for inflation, that means Bitcoin's market cap in today's dollars would be about 20 trillion. I think Bitcoin by the year 2031 will be north of $12.5 million per Bitcoin.
Now, you guys seen that. Now, you heard what he said, said in the beginning. He was like, you know, a lot of these countries, their currencies are going to fall and our dollar will be up a little bit higher than other countries, but the debt rate and the ratio, trillions of dollars. But you have to believe this too. He was like, by the end of 2031 or at the year 2031, Bitcoin will be north of $12.5 million. So where this is coming play with the title, what you guys seen, Dogelon Mars will be at $10 by 2031. The reason why I say this, and I'm gonna back this up, the dollar is always gonna be here. The US dollar. It's always gonna be here, but there's gonna be a point whereas you're going to need digital currency than the dollar. Now, Dogelon Mars, it's in health, science. You have to think about it. They're connected with Methuselah Foundation. This is the standing points here where everyone has to understand. Methuselah Foundation has been here for years. Okay? Now, with everything going on with NASA, SpaceX, this token is also along with Dogecoin. All right? Now, I'm going to get on to XRP. At the end of the day, you know where XRP is going to be. XRP is going to have to be around $50,000 per token by the year 2031. We're in the year 2022 right now. So where I'm trying to explain to you guys is this. Yes, wealth is very near. Some of you may not hold out till $10. If Dogelon Mars reaches $2, not even that, some people's going to already sell. If Dogelon Mars reaches 75 cents, and it will, there's going to be a lot of holders that's going to be selling. You get where I'm coming from? Because you already hold millions or billions of this token. Now, how institutional investors do it, they may sell a percentage of their portfolio but may not wipe out their portfolio. Again, let me explain this again. They may hold 100 trillion, but they, instead of a retail investor like us, we may sell 10 or 15%. They may sell 5% of their holdings and buy back. They're never selling their whole holdings. That's how you stay wealthy. That's how you let your account grow, family. You see, we were taught to have 401ks and That's gonna take care of us when we retire. But honestly, if you're not making enough money, you're barely touching $1 million. So if you start a 401k right now, you could barely touch $1 million when you retire. This is why I am explaining to you right now. Dogelon Mars, XRP, Ethereum, even Dogecoin. Dogecoin is going to shoot up high too. The numbers that you guys seen last year, 2021, when Dogelon Mars touched what? $7,000. XRP touched $23 million. When Bitcoin touched $800 million. Again, family, these are the currencies that we hold. We are. And you know what? Instead of me saying millionaires, I believe most of us will be billionaires. But the millionaires or the thousandaires by the year, 2050 or something, I believe most citizens will be millionaires. But it's not the same millionaires as it is today and years ago, because inflation, all the prices are going up. So they're going to have to pay you more. It may look good that you make $525,000 a year, but you're still living as like an average citizen. Okay? So I want you guys to understand all these digital currencies that have real utility, real value, they're going to explode in prices. They're going to explode and gradually increase and increase. You cannot be one of those investors that is get rich quick scheme, or as, oh, well, I can live off of $20 million. Well, of course, some people can, some people cannot. But you have to understand this, that $20 million in the next couple, 10 years from now, it's going to be it's not going to be the same. So you hold Dogelon Mars, you see the prices. Let me just show you right quick. You see the prices, man. And what? 26.15 is up 3%. But then when you start seeing Dogelon Mars reaches the 5-cent levels, 15-cent levels, 30-cent levels, it started to add up. It starts to add up. So it's not going to be below these levels ever again. Understand this. They're not doing a burn for Dogelon Mars. And it has to be a reason, because there's going to be a lot more people that are going to want to buy this. And at the time, it's already, the tokens are already there, but the value, it's what can stop others of accumulating so much. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder to accumulate the prices of what you want to accumulate at these prices. So yeah, 15, 20 cents a token, but then you're like, well, I could spend 1,000, but everything is so expensive. So that same $1,000 that you were able to use to invest, now it's shrunk down to $500 that you're able to invest. And you may not be able to get that much of tokens. All right. So I want you guys to understand what's really going on. And I'm still bullish on Dogelon Mars. I'm definitely bullish on Dogelon Mars. I'm definitely bullish on XRP and XLM and Chainlink. Again, VChain. So I'm going to finish playing this video, but I want you guys to understand this is huge. This is something for you guys to let it marinate. Your time is now. Your time is now. What are you going to do? I'm going to play this clip. Robert Kiyosaki, he been spot on for the past years. He been talking about the collapse. It's going to happen. And now let me get back to this right quick. But you see, Euro taps a 90.97 cents low against the US dollar. Analysts claim British and EU currencies are trapped in a doom loop. Let me play this video.
I said, because you guys are the future, but in the meantime, you're just peeing in the ocean. I mean, that's what, 21 million Bitcoins? Trying to fill up an ocean?
What is it, 90 trillion or so, I think is kind of global money supply, somewhere in that range, 90 to 100 trillion, depending on how you count it.
Yeah, it's impossible to count. Because what happened, now I'll give a quick history. This is the 50th anniversary of the fake dollar. So 1971, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and that's when I became a gold bug. I said, well, at least gold is more real than the dollar. The same as I've been in silver since '64. So when I saw Bitcoin come along, I didn't understand it, you know. And by the time it hit 20,000, I was getting excited. But being an old guy, I always know it retraces. So I just waited for to retrace. It retraced to 7. I think it was it go down to 3 or something. But you know, by the time I woke up again, you know, it was at 7, and then I said hit 9. I said I better back up the truck now. Because why would you chase something on the way up? You want it to come back, retrace, and then go back into it.
So in 2017, we went from $1,000 to $20,000. It took about a year to draw down to 3,200. Basically, between 2019, 2020, and into 2021, it then peaked again over 60,000. And then recently fell again to somewhere between 28,000 and 30,000 was kind of the most recent low. And I think people see this high degree of volatility that scares the hell out of them. But one of the beauties of Bitcoin being this decentralized digital open system is that you can actually go look on the blockchain and you can see exactly who's buying and who's selling, right? It's an open, transparent ledger. And so when you go and you look at those on-chain metrics or on the blockchain, what you find is that entire drop from 60 down to 30, it was all new investors, new people in the market, right? And you can tell that by how long have they been holding on to the Bitcoin that they were selling. And so when you see that all the new people are selling, it asks yourself, well, who's buying it? It's all the people who've been around for a really long time, right? They're saying, hey, if you just got here and all of a sudden a little bit of volatility spooks you, I'll surely buy up your Bitcoin at a lower price. Right? And so what you have is you just have weak hands selling to strong hands, or kind of new people selling to old people. And so the people who've been around a long time.
Big role in the Russia-Ukrainian conflict there. What happened there?
So it's really interesting that there's both positive and negative viewpoints on this, because the moment that the war started, sanctions were starting to hit, and people or different countries were trying to cut Russia off from different financial systems, right, and platforms. So the first thought from world governments was, is Russia able to evade sanctions with crypto? Are they going to ask other countries to give them Bitcoin and transact that to trade oil, for example? But instead, they went for the ruble, right? They said, we only accept ruble, so that's trying to boost up their currency. And then on the flip side, Ukraine, all they did was print out an Ethereum wallet. They said, here's our Ethereum wallet, please donate to us. They got $100 million within the first few months. And it was like they didn't do anything except tweet it out, right? So think about that. Like, they didn't ask another country to wire money in, or, obviously they did, but they didn't have to. They just needed to tweet out an address, and then they received hundreds of millions of dollars just from crypto coming in.
Kind of reminds me of what we call the .com era. You know, back around 2000, everybody had a .com company. You know, it was just this .com and that .com, and everybody was chasing these .com companies, and it all came crashing down. So do you think that's going to happen to all these new crypto coins or whatever they are?
I think crypto will continue to remain correlated with growth stocks, but there are so many funds being raised and so many billions of dollars waiting on the sidelines to fund innovation in the space. So if you bring enough smart people and you bring enough money to any category, you're going to see some really good things come out of it. And obviously the hard part is keeping up to date with the rapidly changing environment. I mean, over the last year, we've seen like 3 bull and bear market cycles with different innovations coming out and then kind of fading back. But there are a lot of promising things that have come out that are actually actively being used. And the big difference this time is there is a connection to the real world.
I understand, but to me, crypto is not much different than the US dollar. You just print it. You just create it.
Well, so first thing to realize is Bitcoin is a digital currency, which is kind of strange because if me and you wanted to make a digital currency, what does that even mean, right? Do you control some ledger, some Excel sheet that has how much we both have? So Bitcoin came around using this blockchain technology so that both of us actually control the same ledger. The same source of record is controlled by both of us. And later on, that ledger grew to thousands and thousands of other operators. And all Bitcoin is a history of the transactions from different keys. So as long as I have a 64-digit key, that stores money. And I could use that key to send you money, and you could use your key and send other people money. Nobody controls it. Nobody can just stop it, right? I can just ban Bitcoin. There's no way you can ban Bitcoin. So it's floating out there across borders. There's no borders for Bitcoin, but it's being traded for other assets. It's actually the biggest asset to trade into other cryptocurrencies. So when we say that it cannot be governed or there's no policy